Alright guys, today's the day I'm going to get this bike out and get it going and go take it for a decent ride. I did went ahead and ordered a new tack which just showed up today. It's one of them lawnmower tacks. These work really good. They're cheap. They're like 10 bucks and they always work. I've had the other ones that are like 20, 30 bucks. They have the temperature and all that stuff, but they seem to, for some reason I always have one that fails. And then I just used some of this double-sided sticky tape, 3M, and then she wanted a foam mount put on her bike. So, and this is just one off Amazon. I've had this one before. It's a good one for her. She's never gonna go any speeds that I do on the other bike. So, but the crazy thing is, I did take it for a quick spin around the block, and this thing the governor kicks in around 20 mile an hour. It says on the box at 25 mile an hour. The Phatmoto back in the day did 25 when I first got it. But this thing, so that's the main reason why I bought the tack, because I want to see what this engine's even revving out to. But you'll see in the video how slow this thing is, and what I might be doing is taking my other motor that I have. I have another motor that's sitting right here, but that motor there's already got the governor removed and some stuff done to it. That motor that was on one of the bikes I had would do 35 all day long, and sometimes 38 mile an hour, depending on how windy it is and stuff. But I think I might swap that out and just, without telling her, just swap it out. It's the exact same motor, so it'll look identical to this. It would just have more pickup, because she even said it was slow. So, but we'll go ahead and get that stuff put on, and we'll get this thing fired up and take it for a ride. Okay, on this part, I usually just leave like a little bit of slack just to run up to there, so it's not tugging up here. And then you want to do is peel some of this sheeting back and cut it off, and then you want to get about 5 wraps. And then I'll leave enough just to put 2 knots in it, and then put a zip tie on the top of it. And I've never had them come loose or anything. So now we're all set. I can go ahead and get this thing started, make sure the tack works, and just take it out and ride it and see what it does. Alright, we'll go ahead and get this thing started. Turn the fuel on. I don't know if it needs choke, might need to. Alright, we'll turn choke off. So the tack is working. So I'll go ahead and get my helmet and stuff, and we'll get this thing outside and take it for a ride. Alright guys, I was riding this thing. This thing was only doing like 17 miles an hour. So I pulled over real quick. I'm going to throw a zip tie in it. Bring the speed up just a little bit more. We are definitely going to be swapping over to the other motor. That should be good enough. I even did shorten the spring a little bit too, and it still didn't. It didn't really make a difference, so we'll see what this does. Having a zip tie in it. Alright, let's start her back up. Now let's see if we can beat 17 mile an hour. Okay, that's better.
maybe from the factory, the spring they put on there is just way too loose of a spring. Because like I said, this thing was only doing 17 mile an hour. The other day it did 20, but today it was only hitting the 17. Now with the having that zip tie in there, you can keep it right at 25. You can hit 30 if you want, but you're kind of pushing the motor up there. Right now we're sitting about 5,100 RPM. I will admit, between the Phatmoto and this Rover, or the Phatmoto all-terrain and the Rover having the skinnier tires does have more pickup, which it should, skinnier tires. And to be honest, if I was to buy another one, I think I'm gonna buy one just like, I'm gonna just get another Rover. That's another thing too with the Phatmoto all-terrain. Them white tires, you hit these corners like this, and if they got the loose dirt on them, that thing wants to it wants to slide from underneath you. This thing feels more planted. Now this one will be a decent hill. Oh yeah, and the thing with the Loctite, putting Loctite on all these bolts and stuff, if you get your vibrations down and you don't, I mean, the Phatmoto's never had Loctite on it, the all-terrain I have, and I've never had one bolt come loose, and if it did, I already knew about it before I even rode it, because I always go through and check everything over before I go on any rides. Because I've had times where the back bolt for the rear sprocket just a little bit loose, and that's all it takes for it to bend one or shear one off. But to be honest, I think I had it one time, and since I've had that bike, and it's always had a 5-horse engine on it. It had a Predator at one time. But I do agree, put Loctite on if it makes you feel comfortable. It's just, for me, you end up breaking that bolt, and you got the Loctite in there, and then you gotta try to heat it, try to get it out of there, and That's one of the things that happens around here. You come around a turn and cars should be in the other lane, comes right into your lane. I'm sure everybody sees that. Kind of nice having all this corn up. Sucks for deer running out, but I am doing some work at the property. I got some trees knocked down already. I'm going to start recording out there. I'm going to try to get about an acre of it opened up, and so we can start making trails all through there and see what we can do with the all-terrain out there, and even this thing, the Rover, take it out there and just see what it can do. Climb any decent hills or anything. The weather's finally cool enough and the stuff's finally dying, so now it doesn't look like such a jungle. So far I've hit 29 mile an hour, 29.7. So yeah, it's held up. I've gone, I don't know, maybe like 5 miles with this thing so far. I've not had anything come loose or haven't seen anything to worry about. And like I said, she's rode it once already, and we're actually going to be taking them. I'm going to load this one up and load the other one. I think I'm going to take my 2-stroke with me, and we're going to go out somewhere where it's nice and open, and she's going to start riding it there, get used to it and stuff, and then from there, I wish there was more trails to take these things through, and that's why I'm really kind of scooting on getting the property done so I can go out there. Because I've thought about hitting some of the trails around here. Problem is, there are a lot of walking trails and they're mountain bike trails, but the way people are over here, I'm afraid I can't afford to have one of these taken away from me, so I don't feel like paying that yet. So eventually I may attempt it. But yeah, everything's going good with it. But if you're really good about pre-checking everything, because a lot of times people don't check that, and the way I check, it's super easy. You just grab the brake lever and you try to rock the bike back and forth. If the bike kind of rolls and stops, then you know your back rotor or your sprocket's loose. Which it would be the sprocket because it's bolted to that, but you get what I mean. But basically just pull the brake in and push the bike forward. If it rocks forward, then you know you got something's loose in the rear end. Same thing with the front, check the front rotor. And then I always like to come up to them and kind of move the rear rim back and forth just to make sure that the axle hasn't came loose. And that's all I've ever done, and I've never had any kind of crazy failures. Now, yeah, I did blow out the axle, but that's also because I was running 212s and that 5 horsepower engine in it. These 3.8 axles just can't handle it, and that's why I had to go with the bigger axle on that. But so The next video I'm going to be pulling this motor off, swapping over the valve cover and the valve cover off this and the front cover, and putting it on that, swapping it onto this, and then we'll take it back out for a ride again and see the difference. I do have another sprocket for right here too that I could go a tiny bit bigger, but my goal is if the bike can just sit around 25 miles an hour, 25 to 27 mile an hour, it's perfect for her. But she rode it, when she rode it the other day, it was just too slow. Like I said, 17 mile an hour. First day was 20, and then today was only 17, so. But it's that spring it's in there, it's just too weak. But alright, thanks for watching.